It's our great pleasure to welcome you to this first annual retreat of the Wyss Translation Center Zurich. The mission Hans-Jörg Wyss gave us is to translate excellent science into new therapies and new products. One is regenerative medicine, a very medical topic. The other one is robotics. And bringing this together with the brilliant science we have here at ETH and the university in a shared center is the key mission. There is this hurdle to bring these results into clinic, into patients, into users, into products, into the market.
Meanwhile, we have 8 projects running at full speed. We have some projects which are mainly medicine oriented, but we have also a big part of projects which actually touch on both ends, on medicine and on technology. And this is very important. And I think this is also the goal, that we have a lot of these projects which need both and medicine experience and competencies and also engineering. And we have also some projects which are mainly technology oriented.
We're looking forward and we realize that we've really uncovered enough about how nature builds, controls, and manufactures from the nanoscale up, that we're at a point where we could flip that. We can now leverage biological principles to develop new engineering innovations, and that's what we call biologically inspired engineering. Hans-Jörg said, I know big companies, they're great at product development, but they can't innovate. I can't make my own company change directions, they ignore me. I know academia, you do innovative things, but you publish papers that's basically making widgets, nothing ever happens. So he wanted to see a startup in the midst of the world's greatest academic environment that would have near-term impact, and that's basically what we've done.
Definition of artificial intelligence, there might be many, but generally speaking, it's the theory and development of practices by which computer systems can perform tasks that are normally expected of humans. What I'm mostly going to focus on is not that, but is on something that we call mechanical intelligence. And so this is more of the focus on the mechanics, materials, manufacturing, design of novel platforms, which then make this question of these human relevant tasks, that make those tasks easier.
I have the pleasure to introduce Aparna Rao. She is actually bringing together art and engineering, generating emotions by motions.
This was my first physical object, and I was thinking about the use of the telephone in my domestic setup in India. This got me thinking about my uncle's peculiar phenomenon of constantly asking me to do things for him. The situation that mystified me the most was his use of a landline telephone. He'd hold on to the receiver and expect me to dial the number for him. So in response, I made him the uncle phone. It's so long that it requires 2 people to use it, which is exactly the way my uncle uses a device designed for 1 person.
So I want to now thank the leaders of the University of Zurich and the ETH who had the foresight to create, together with me, this translational institute here in Zurich. The Wyss Institutes have a few things in common. The least important is the name. They're all tied to universities, and they're great universities. There is Harvard, there is CPFL in Lausanne, the University of Geneva, the ETH, there is the University of Zurich, and each one is associated to a number of other institutions that influence and help with research, be it the hospitals here in Zurich, be it the hospitals in Geneva, be it all the institutions around Boston, and the only holdout was MIT, and eventually I had to give in and become a member too. So how do we measure them again? With patents and publications. But the real measurement will be when they improve and change patient care. So what they don't have common, they all work in very different areas. They all have a very different mission. They have different organizations, and they work in a different stage of research and development. While the Wyss in Boston does some very basic research, but also moves into translational areas and then eventually also into startups. The one in Zurich works on projects where the research has already been done, where the fundamental work has been done, and now we help to get them over 2-3 years to get from when nobody wants to fund a project into the clinic. And why do I do all this? Well, I'll do it for the following reason. I'm now going to quote President Jefferson, 3rd President of the United States. If life gave you fame and fortune, you have a duty to give it back to society. And that's what I try to do. Thank you very much.
The donation of Hans-Jörg Wyss allowed us, together with our partner, to set up a center that is completely unique. Combines regenerative medicine with robotics, and what we hope it does, by giving this risk capital, we are able to try things where previously people have said, too risky, ambitious, but not possible. Now it is possible.
As Hans-Jörg Wyss defined today,
Translation is really bringing it to the clinic, to the patient, or bringing a new product into the market. So that's our goal for the next couple of years, to have first successful projects. And this is depending on several factors. The first one is the science has to be excellent. And secondly, we have to form this entrepreneurial team.
What we see is a very much increased cooperation between the University of Zurich and the ETH. First big benefit. Second, we see a high visibility of the Wyss Zurich, which helps us attract another talents from all over the world. And I would say thirdly, also we start to sense a small change in the culture in our schools towards being more open to translation, being more open to a transfer of the basic research results into economy. And I think this is a good thing.
Of course, the challenge is always that we have to bring up these young entrepreneurs, which are still more the scientists than entrepreneurs, towards the entrepreneurial spirit. We have to do with more coaching, more interaction with them, so that they really become entrepreneurs. They want to push forward their projects and bring them to markets.
When I look at the comparison to what we've been seeing in the United States, the academic institutions have been working very hard on the tech transfer, and how do you take those ideas into ways that really benefit society, making the work that's happening in science and research much more relevant to every human being, not just here in Switzerland, but across the globe.